up!
Have fun.
I'm here for you, to help take the load off your shoulders.
So, what's our next move, boss?
That's easy enough.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Here, this is for you.
A flower?
Can you bear to see the planet suffer? Cloud.
Hi, I'm Jake, and this is a quick video to explain how the gameplay works in Ancient Enemy. So you play as the mage, which is over here on the left, and I'm fighting this fungal boar over on the right. So I'm going to click the fight button. So the enemy's next move is highlighted with this down arrow, and it looks like they're going to charge at us and do 6 physical damage. We obviously don't want that. So what we need to do is charge up our defense card here, which will give us 5 physical defense for 1 turn. So I've got a 7 down at the bottom, and that means I can either play a 6 or an 8 up here, okay? But I need these blue cards to charge up this physical defense. So I'm going to go 8, 9. So that's good. But I'm stuck now and I can't carry on. However, if I use this skull card, which is a special ability, I can blast off another blue card. And that gives me a fully charged physical defense card, which I'm going to use, and then the enemy is going to attack. Okay, good. So they only did 1 damage because of that. Now what I really want to do is charge up this pyre attack, which does magical damage, or my dagger, which does physical damage. They haven't got any defenses at the moment. We can see they've got no physical or magic defense, so it's a good time to try and get a hit in. So I'm going to use 6, 5. Luckily there's a 4 there, that's pretty convenient. Sometimes you find cards like this one which does instant damage on the enemy, so if I use that skull card, they took 3 damage. Also you can collect these worm cards, which are essentially jokers, and you can use them anytime you want to change. Basically when you put this down at the bottom, I can pick any card here at all now. So I'm going to pick a 2, and that's fully charged my fire attack, and I'm going to use that now on the boar. Okay, here's another enemy for me to fight, but before I do that I need to check out a couple of tactical things. So I can check that they've got resistances here. They've got resistance to fire, so it's no use me using my fire spell on them. Also they're going to use fire on me, which does magic damage, so it's no use me having this physical defense spell. So if I click equip, I can go into the inventory, I can swap out my fire for frostbite, which they are not resistant to, and I can equip this magic defense card instead of physical defense, so that's pretty good. If I wanted to, I could also equip various bombs and potions, so I've got a few armed there. And I've got these special abilities, but as you play the game you obviously get more. So let's go back to the fight now. Alright, so looks like they're going to attack immediately with their fire spell, so ideally I would charge up some kind of defense. That's pretty tricky actually. I can only do a 5, but I can use these cards which give me defense just for 1 turn, magic and physical. So I've picked up a couple of those. I've also used the skull card on them to do a bit more damage. Okay, so I've revealed a couple of defense cards. Maybe I can use this card here, this wild card or joker as it were, to get them. Yep, 7, 8. There we go. It's not quite charged. 9, 0, 1. Great. Charged up my magic defense. Let's have a go. Good, I completely deflected their fire. I could do a physical strike now, but I think I want to go for the ice strike. So we've got 6, 5. I think that's all I can do at the moment. I could shuffle, but I'm just going to go for an attack. There's lots to explore, tons of different enemies, skills to unlock, and plenty of loot to collect in Ancient Enemy.
Welcome to Survival 101. For the last 150 years, we've been preparing ourselves to ensure our survival in the open. Let's begin with basic knowledge about our environmental conditions. In Endzone, a world apart, you'll have to deal with 4 different levels of humidity, from arid to extremely humid. Especially extreme heat is going to be a big problem. The resulting drought will lead to desiccated soil, withered and dried up plants, bare trees, and worst of all, a ruined harvest. A life-threatening situation, indeed. To counteract this, we invented the irrigation plant. It increases soil moisture in its immediate vicinity, protecting your crop in periods of drought. As if these calamities weren't enough, a drought will also drain lakes, completely stopping our water supply dead in its tracks. Wells will be your only chance to secure a steady availability of water. Although drawing water from a well is going to be a tedious process. One of the biggest dangers a drought carries with it are sandstorms, a brute elemental force that can devastate our settlement in the blink of an eye. Major setbacks are imminent. For instance, restricted movement for our people and damaged buildings all the way to their total destruction. Damaged buildings might stop functioning and would have to be repaired. What's far worse, sandstorms cause existing radioactive contamination to spread even more. What can we learn from this? Always keep track of the weather situation to avoid being caught off guard. Welcome to the next chapter of the Endzone Survival Guide. Today's topic is radiation. We categorize radiation into 4 different levels: non-irradiated, light, medium, and highly irradiated. First of all, how can radiation be detected? In Endzone, a world apart, you can recognize radiation by many factors. The more irradiated an area is, mutated plants appear more frequently. The more your Geiger counter is acoustically noticeable, and the edge of your screen turns more and more blue. Alternatively, you can also use the radiation map to see exactly how much radiation an area is exposed to. The radiation in Endzone is not static, but changes dynamically due to environmental influences, especially sandstorms and radioactive rain. Radiation can contaminate our drinking water, poisoning or even killing our settlers. You can counteract this with the help of carbon filters. Rain collectors should always be covered with a plastic sheet when the rain is contaminated. Your weather station will inform you in advance about the level of radiation for upcoming seasons. Just like water, the soil, the fields you cultivate, or the animals you hunt can also be irradiated. If your settlers consume contaminated water, eat contaminated food, or stay too long in contaminated areas, they can themselves become contaminated, and thus become sick, or even infertile, and, in the worst case, they die. To prevent this, you must have the ground in your settlement dug up regularly to reduce the level of radiation. You should also produce protective clothing, such as coal masks or radiation suits for your settlers. In your town center, the distribution of clothes to your settlers can be regulated. I think that's enough new information for today. Memorize these important lessons carefully. The survival of your entire settlement depends on it. Take good care of yourself. Next time, we will talk about electricity in Endzone. A World Apart. Welcome back to another helpful chapter of our Endzone survival guide. Today's topic is all about electricity. Let's begin this lesson with the introduction of our specially designed solar collector. This marvel of technology produces a specified amount of solar energy to power buildings connected to the network. It's beautiful, isn't it? And the easiest way to distribute power within our settlement are power lines, wooden poles that connect the solar collector with appropriate buildings, resulting in one big electrical grid. But you've got to be careful when extending the electrical grid. If the connected buildings consume too much power, the electrical grid is at risk of overloading. In case of emergency, you have to act fast and decommission expendable buildings. Therefore, always keep an eye on your overall power consumption. The main benefit of buildings connected to the electrical grid is that their working efficiency gets a significant boost on both day and nighttime. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about solar collectors. They only generate electricity when the sun is up, which can be quite troublesome every now and then. No need to panic though. Of course, we have a solution for this as well. The battery. A battery allows us to store excess energy during daytime, feeding it back into the network at night to secure a steady power supply for all of us. With the excess power of our batteries, we're able to burn the candle at both ends. To see our settlement ablaze with light, even at night, lifts the mood and has a favorable effect on our people's mind. A glimmer of hope in an otherwise grim world. And that's it for today. I'll see you next time when it says again, Endzone, A World Apart Survival Guide. Stay safe, everyone.